Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Smartphone celebrates its 25th birthday. Nokia 9000 Communicator, the first smartphone. The Nokia 9000 Communicator, launched by the Finnish company Nokia on August 15, 1996, is the first smartphone. The phone, which weighed 400 grams and was the first phone that could connect to the internet, was promoted as a pocket-sized desk. The phone, which was priced at 2,700 German marks, about 1,340 euros, at its launch, was mainly aimed at businessmen. The first WAP phone. The Nokia 7110, introduced in 1999, was the first wireless application protocol, WAP, mobile phone, which contained applications for mobile internet use. Although this application was nothing more than a shrinking of the internet in the form of text, it was a revolutionary step for mobile phones. This phone was followed by similar phones that combined the telephone, fax, and pager. iPhone, the beginning of the smartphone revolution. The real revolution of smartphones began with the launch of the first iPhone in 2007 by the American technology giant Apple. In the picture, the late CEO of the company, Steve Jobs, is presenting the first iPhone. Although the iPhone was not the first smartphone, it was the first phone with an easy-to-use display interface. Later, this phone was adapted to the third-generation wireless communication technology, which has been available since 2001. An integral part of everyday life. Today, smartphones are an integral part of the daily lives of millions of people around the world, to communicate, search, take photos, navigate, play games, watch videos, listen to music, pay, and so on, provided the battery is charged and the network is available. The first mobile phone, heavy and expensive. Cell phones remain the origin of smartphones. The first commercial mobile phone was introduced in 1973 by Martin Cooper, vice president of Motorola. But this phone, known as DynaTAC, Total Dynamic Adaptive Coverage, actually hit the market 10 years after its introduction. With a revolutionary weight of less than 1 kilogram, this phone was not only required, but also very expensive, as the price of one device was about $4,000. Elite phone. 70 years ago, whoever wanted to talk on a mobile phone had to carry a device that weighed more than 12 kilograms and had modest coverage. As for the connection itself, it was carried out by the miss in the exchange, and it was cut off as soon as it left the wireless signal coverage area. Because of the high costs of this method, mobile communication remained the preserve of politicians and company managers. Pocket version. The first pocket-sized mobile phone was introduced to the market in 1989, the Microtac phone produced by Motorola, and it was the first phone with a cover that could be opened and closed. With this phone, companies began to produce smaller and more accurate mobile phones. Greatness. In the summer of 1992, the era of digital mobile communications began, as it became possible to make international phone calls with mobile phones, at the same time that the process of developing these phones continued. The Motorola International 3200, affectionately known in Germany as the Greatness, was too small for its time. This phone is also the first mobile phone with a data transfer capacity of up to 220 kilobits per second. SMS, unparalleled success. Short Message Service, SMS, was introduced in 1994. Initially, this service was intended to send messages about wireless signal strength or any network malfunction to customers. However, these messages, each of which does not exceed 160 symbols, have become the most used services after the phone call itself. Many young people have developed shortcuts to these messages to save money. Wholesale cell phones. With the beginning of the year 1997, the demand for mobile phones began to increase rapidly, especially phones with a cover that could be opened and closed and those with a cover that could be withdrawn. The relatively cheap prices of these devices, combined with the introduction of prepaid cards, made mobile phones a popular product. Mini computer. The development of mobile phones went very quickly, and it became normal for the mobile phone to include a color screen, a music file player, MP3, a radio, and a recorder for video clips. Thanks to WAP and GPRS technologies, users can surf the internet compactly on their devices. Fashion phone. One of the most popular phones was Motorola's RAZR model, which had a camera and was introduced to the market in 2004. At first, the device was marketed as a fashion phone, and 50 million phones were sold by mid-2006. But the technology that this phone contains wasn't revolutionary, but it looked impressive. And with the RAZR, mobile phones got a new face. Fourth generation technology. The fourth generation wireless communication technology, called LTE, made mobile and smartphones more efficient, as it provided them with a good connection to the internet, which increased the options available in phones. Fifth generation network. As for the fifth generation network for communication, which began to spread in 2019, it gives smartphones a much faster download speed than before, which really enables smartphones to become an office in a pocket, as Nokia promoted the first smartphone in the world. M.A.H.